Hey guys, it is Mike with You Come the Night. I have had some things on my mind the last, well, actually, probably for the last couple months, honestly. From time to time, I have people come on my channel, and especially like on the pop videos or whatever, they'll talk about, oh, you know, you're just talking shit on pop music because you're a metalhead and you don't get it, or you're just sour, or you need to go fucking whatever. You need to go clean out your head or whatever. I don't know all the words that they say. Basically insinuating that I'm not as smart as I sound, and also that I just don't understand what I'm talking about, and I think I'm leading this whole revolution thing, but in reality, I'm just another fucking schmo-blow. To the end part of that comment, yeah, I mean, I am just another fucking schmo-blow, and that's fine. But to the beginning part of like, why would you do a reaction video just to hate on something? First things first, I've done plenty of videos where I compliment music and talk about music that I love. It gets next to no freaking views. I shit you not. I kid you not. Go ahead, actually do some research on your own if you don't normally watch my videos, and look through my videos list. You'll see which ones have more views and which ones don't. It's kind of shocking, actually. So yeah, in order to keep the business alive, I have to keep doing videos like that. That is a reality of my channel that I cannot escape at this time. But more importantly than that, there's a certain cultural aspect that I want to address. I feel like I've always kind of insinuated this, but I've never really come out and explained it, and I'll probably make a more proper video on this in the future. Why do I care so much that there's such shitty music out there in the world? I could, at the end of the day, just enjoy the music that I love to enjoy and let other people enjoy the music that they want to enjoy. Which, by the way, I still do, but I wouldn't have to say anything about it. So why do I choose to say things about it, besides the fact that that's the videos you guys fucking watch? But more specifically, why would I choose to start doing it in the first place? Before I knew that people were actually going to watch it. I've said it before and I will articulate it again. The fact that songs like the Cardi B song, or even Charlie Puth, and actually Charlie Puth isn't even a good example because it didn't get that much hype, or like the Gucci Mane song that I reviewed, or the Jake Paul song, God. They get an obnoxious amount of attention. And I mean, that's all well and good, if it wasn't for the fact that we put a lot of value on that music. More value than we should rightfully put on that music. I see bands like Ne Obliviscaris, Thank You Scientist, Death Grips, actually a number of bands that I reviewed last week on Song Suggestion Friday, who they definitely have a certain amount of fame and they absolutely have a following and they're making a living, but their exposure isn't nearly as broadbanded. And a lot of people will listen to it and not even register that this is actually great stuff. It's too foreign for them. Hell, there's a large number of metalheads that don't even get into Dream Theater. I used to be one of them. So this is our current cultural landscape. Notice the word culture I used. This is our current cultural landscape, and this is actually to be expected if you really extrapolate it out. However, I think there is an absolute imbalance as to how much these extraordinarily mundane pieces of art are being given the highest praise, as if it was actually something that brought good to humanity. I'll take that back. They don't always bring a net negative to humanity. Some of them do bring a lot of positive to humanity, but those are few and far between. And actually, there's a number of them that only bring a smidgen of good, which is like that momentary, aha, we had fun, and are praised as though they're the classics that'll stand the test of time. They're absorbing all of the spotlight, not because people actually give a shit about them, but because they have the funding, the machine behind them in order to get it out in front of as many eyes as possible. And these guys who are actually true artists don't. Not to mention there's not a regular infrastructure in place or a cultural infrastructure in place for people to sit down and listen to even a 6-minute song and really dive into it. For clarification, I don't mind pop. I think a lot of today's pop is shit, like really bad, overly recycled. I mean, they all start to literally sound the same. If you go back to the 90s, man, pop was a lot better. It was starting to get more and more sausage, if you understand my meaning, but it was still much better than the shit we had even 10 years later. And people idolize these artists for some fucking reason. Like, what they have to say really fucking matters on a cultural landscape. And by the way, you can say the same thing about me. I'm totally cool with that. I'm also not running around here endorsing presidential candidates, or talking about policy in our government, or condemning people for social faux pas. I'm talking about the shit that's important to music. So they're given all of this social capital for doing something that took no fucking effort. And not only that, most times they don't even design their own fucking backing tracks to their pop songs. So at the end of the day, they might have written some words and sang a tune and learned how to dance on stage. Doesn't take that much talent. Yes, I do admire their hustle, but that does not earn my respect. If I was paid obnoxious sums of money, I'd be hustling my ass off too. Meanwhile, we have these other guys like I was talking about who get like a, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. And obviously they do have their hardcore fan bases, which need to be addressed another time. If pop was honestly in its appropriate cultural space for me, it would be less about the celebrity worship, which, as I understand it, began, at least in this industry, with Beatlemania, and more about appreciating what they do. I reviewed, I would say one pop song, and one was like indie pop rock type of thing. It was dumb, it was slightly cringy. I enjoyed it, and it's fine to enjoy it, as long as you admit that it's dumb. It's not a cultural genius breakthrough that someone can go, yes, I slay, yes, I slay. That's not fucking it takes no fucking talent. If you enjoy it, fine, go enjoy it. Acknowledge how stupid it is. Be honest with yourself. That's what I'm trying to bring forward. A certain amount of honesty that a lot of the music that we're surrounded with on a daily basis and we're told is so fucking great is garbage. You're allowed to like it. You're allowed to even disagree with me that it's garbage. Lord knows, I've been wrong a lot. I'm just really sick of seeing the decline of fucking musical culture. And it ties back into the rest of Western society. I think culture and society are kind of like a symbiotic feedback loop. As the music gets worse, the culture gets worse. As the culture gets worse, the music gets worse, and it just keeps going and going, man. I'm trying to push back against that. Pop songs will always be stupid pop songs because it's the only way to appeal to the lowest common denominator. That's not inherently a bad thing. What is not acknowledging what it actually is. A stupid pop song. What is taking these fucking prepubescent, terrible messages from these beauty queens and fucking pretend gangsters and pretending like it's a positive message that you should live your life by. What is substituting this pseudo-philosophical bullshit for actual hard critical thinking. Which, by the way, I don't think music needs to be a critical thinking piece at all. It's cool when it is, but it doesn't need to be. But what it should be is honest, genuine, and authentic. And everything that I just described is why pop music is no longer genuine and authentic. It's a bunch of fucking preteens caught in late 20s, early 30s people's bodies and living by a moral relativist philosophy at the end of the day. That's why I talk shit on these pop songs. That's why I decided that they need to be taken down a notch. That's why I'm open to criticism, because I know I'm not always right. And that's why I'm going to continue to do this, because honestly, who else is? And please, if you have dissenting opinions, if you disagree with me, tell me. You don't have to be a dick about it. You can if you want to, but don't be afraid if I can become a dick back. But yes, please let me know. I love engaging with you guys in the comments section and seeing what you think. I like being challenged. I like challenging you. Anyway, I didn't write any of this down. This is kind of something that's been festering in me for a while and I needed to get it out. There's no real proper way to end this. I hope it actually made some sense. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I really, really, really appreciate you guys a lot. Like, a lot. I am extraordinarily privileged to be able to do what I do, and I don't take that for granted. Without my patrons, I couldn't do this as my job. My patrons have overwhelmingly made me so emotional. My gratitude is enormous. Thank you guys so much, honestly. Appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next video. Rock on.